Happy Friday if you're watching this live. You might be like, what is happening with everything behind you, Martha, right? Like, why is there a ladder back there? Are you doing home renovations? The answer is 100% no on the home reno front. But what we're doing, I don't know if you've been watching the last few videos and you may have seen my poor plants just kind of losing all their fervor for life in general. And so today is the day where we hop up on the ladder, go prune them, get them watered, get them all of their things. And yeah, so it was just, we were in a situation with the plant sector. Olga was gone for like 3 weeks, and I got all the plants watered in the house except for those. And I would only see that because I don't come in here very often. And so I would only see them when I was on video, and then I'd be in my mind, I'd be like, okay, I need to go water those plants, and then I would do something else and I would forget, right? And so God bless Olga. She is here today. She is making sure all the plants have water. So in case you've been watching that and quietly like, uh-oh, looks like a problem might be amiss, everything's okay. So anyway, which leads me to an interesting segue. We could do an interesting segue here of to drink or not to drink. Plants drink water. You see where I went? Anyway, so didn't mean to do that, just happened. So yesterday, as I was kind of going throughout my day, I was really just thinking about what are the things that I have picked up and left behind in life that have made a huge difference for me, right? Because I like to be able to pass that on to you guys if there's things that, which is what we should do with our communities and with our people. We should let them know, like, here's what worked for me, And I think one of the biggest things that came up for me was that I myself quit drinking. I quit drinking about 10 years ago now. Was it 10 years ago? Yeah, almost exactly 10 years ago now. And that has made a massive difference for me. And so am I saying that everybody needs to quit drinking? No, I'm not. If it's okay for you and you don't do it to excess, then that's totally fine. What it did for me, what I was doing it for, I had a really bad problem with alcohol, okay? But what I was doing it for was a numbing of sorts, right? So just trying to not think about reality and just numb myself until I went to sleep, right? So I would go to work, I would come home, I would drink a lot, and then I would fall asleep, and I would do it again the next day, and it made my existence that I wasn't loving, it made my existence okay. It satiated me, I thought so anyway, into just being okay with this life. Now, let me let you know sort of the briar patch that I see inside of that. If we are numbing ourselves and if we are drinking, like if you really sit down and think about it, I know most people's knee-jerk reaction whenever you say, well, why do you drink? They're going to be like, well, I just want to have fun and, I want to loosen up and whatever. But I think if you sit with it long enough, but why do you want to do that? But why do you want to do that? But why do you want to do that? If you have enough whys down into your line of questioning with yourself, this doesn't have to be public, but if you have enough whys down, so when you say, why'd I do that? Well, I wanted to loosen up. Well, why did you want to loosen up? Well, because I'm stressed out. Well, why are you stressed out? Because da 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 da. Well, why? Well, why? Well, why? You act like a 2-year-old with yourself, or a 4-year-old with yourself is what you really get at. And once you get to that why that stings a little bit, you're there, right? It's not just because you want to loosen up. That's an easy answer. The reason that you likely really do it is because it's making something that you're not happy about okay for now. It's making you maybe not have a nervous breakdown. It's maybe making you not have to worry about something that maybe you really should be worried about, right? But I think most of all, what it's doing is it's keeping you from actually taking action in a solution, right? In a way out of that. You guys, it was when I quit drinking that I actually became an active participant in my own life. I wasn't before. I was being kind of thrown about by the waves, and the waves were not doing me justice. Okay, it was not okay. But whenever I became an active participant in my own life, when I started, and we talked about this before, but when I started owning outcomes, when I started saying, okay, here's my vision. You guys, I didn't even have vision before. Understand that if you're caught up in that wheel, and again, this is like, please understand my heart. I am not trying to throw shade, and I'm not trying to do anything hurtful for you. Okay? All I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bring up, is there a point of growth here? And if there's not, leave it, right? But if there is, let's examine that. Because whenever you can, again, take ownership of, okay, well, we've got vision. I have that vision. Now here's what I'm going to do moving forward. You guys, if I would have done that whenever I was still drinking, I wouldn't be where I am right now if I were still drinking, period. I would not have the same motivation. Like I said before, I didn't even have the vision that I have now. Your vision gets cloudy. And here's the thing, is your beliefs about yourself, the not true ones, your beliefs about yourself and how you can't do things get really honking loud. Whenever you're trying to do something really good for yourself, if you're drinking, your beliefs about yourself, the negative ones, get really, really loud. It's a depressant, guys. And so you tip over that point, you have your jolly good point, and then you tip over into the point where you're like, oh, what is going on with my life, right? Like, this is embarrassing. What am I even doing right now? Like, you get into some scary thoughts in that space. It is a depressant. And so living in that and moving toward your vision cannot happen in the same place. And so all I want you to think about, and this isn't going to be a long video, this is actually just kind of it. All that I want you to think about is drinking serving me? Am I better because of it? I know for me, I was afraid to quit because I was like, are people even going to like me? That might be something that you're thinking, because I was always the happy-go-lucky funny girl. And the fun part is I still am, but I'm stone cold sober. Sometimes I'm over caffeinated, so there's the thing. But I'm stone cold sober, right? Have been for 10 years and I haven't lost my funny. So I'm saying, you guys, don't rely on it. Don't allow it to lie to you and make you think you need it to be a better version of yourself. Because the reality is, whenever you stop, you actually become the better version of yourself. Okay? That's real. You can take that one to the bank. The other one isn't. It's sabotage. And it hangs on. And I was really, really scared to quit because I was like, am I even going to be funny? Am I even going to, are people even going to want to spend time around me? Are they even going to like me? I already had enough of those things going on in the back of my mind anyway. I already had anxiety, depression, blah, blah, blah. But then I was like, oh my gosh, if I quit this thing, will people even like me? And if that's why you're hanging on to it, let me just tell you that if people you don't want them around, they're not your people anyway. But when you quit, you will find your people. And it's okay to lose some to gain better. It's okay. And in the meantime, you have the safety of us, right? Like if you're in families creating legacies, you have the safety of our community. We love you regardless, right? You've got us. You've got a group. You have people that you can lean on. I just know that yesterday when I was thinking, well, what are the things that have made a really big difference in my life? That's a blaring one. It's a blaring one. And I don't want for you to be stuck in it and for me to not address it. I usually talk about business and I usually talk about branding and I talk about making money from home and da 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 da. But also like we're friends and we're real. And I'm going to be real with you. I have no agenda here. Or I do. My agenda is for you to be the best you can possibly be this side of heaven. I love you guys.